Alright guys, author Gabriella here, and after we picked the blueberries from one of our local farms, I'm going to be using them to make this banana blueberry smoothie, accompanied with some oat milk. As usual, you guys can use whatever milk you want, but I just prefer to use oat milk. So as you can see, I was pouring some blueberries into this bowl. I thought honestly all the blueberries would fit, but it looks like we got way more than I thought we did. So we're going to quickly close it up and save that for another time. And now we're going to move on to washing the blueberries. Hey guys, author Gabriella here, and after picking up some blueberries from our local farm, I'm going to be making a blueberry, banana, and oat milk smoothie to accompany with our pancakes and eggs. So let's get to it. So first things first, I'm going to be peeling these 4 bananas and just immediately adding them into the blender. And after I'm done peeling this last banana, you guys can add as much bananas as you want, but I'm only going to add 4. Now it's time to add the blueberries in. Alright, so I don't know the exact measurements of how many blueberries I added in, but I added about half of this bowl. Feel free to add more or less if you want, but I found that even after I added this much blueberries, it still kind of mostly tasted like banana. So maybe I should have added a little bit more, but we'll get to that later. Now it's time for our final ingredient, which is oat milk. So like I said at the beginning of the video, you guys can use any type of milk you want, but I decided to use oat milk. I used about most of the carton, but it was a little bit empty, so maybe not fully everything. But the point is, make sure you add enough for the amount of people that you want to make the smoothie for. And now it's time to blend everything. And while that's blending, it's time for some special message from our sponsors, Aspharians, Guardians of the Elements, my newest book series, which if you don't already know, it's about a book series that revolves around Rael and her group of friends that have to go on this journey across their world to find 13 elemental crystals to save everyone from monsters. It's the perfect fantasy action story that will take you on a mythical quest. And now that our smoothie is ready, it's time to pour it into these cups. All right, now quick flashback to about an hour-ish ago where we were making the eggs. As you can see here, first we're going to add the onions in, and then we're going to mix up all the seasonings we added in our eggs. My mom added about 8 eggs, so 2 per person. Feel free to add as much as you want, and then we're going to dump that in. And while we're letting that cook for a bit, we're also going to be cutting up some few vegetables from the garden. I don't know what this giant ball of yolk is doing in the center, but eventually that did end up popping. And now it's my turn to stir, even if it's only for a few seconds. This is how the eggs are coming out. It's not quite ready yet, but it does look delicious. And here we already have the pancakes that were made a little while ago and the eggs that are still cooking. And ta-da, here is the final result. And now that we have all the components of our brunch or breakfast, it's time for us to try out and dig in. And I give this dish a 9 out of 10. I love blueberries and I love pancakes, so it's the perfect combination. And paired up with the smoothie, it was simply delicious.